The news, I guess, is about Brock Purdy. He was asked, are you going to get this done anytime soon? I think everyone's so expecting that it's going to happen soon. And the way that Lynch talks is like, oh, yeah, we want him to be here as long as we're here. We want him to be here beyond when we're here. But then he says, like, unprompted, yeah, but there's no guarantee an extension gets done. And I thought that was so interesting. No one asked him if there's a guarantee about an extension. And I got to say, I kind of admire the stance. There's no reason for him to say, we have to get this extension done. If it's smart for both sides, then yeah. But what he said privately, I believe what he said privately is, the CBA gives teams avenues to keep a player. So they want to keep Brock. They're not going to replace Brock. Brock's going to be on the team in 2025, but he won't necessarily have an extension. If he agrees to the one the Niners finally offer him, he'll have an extension, but he may not get the extension if he wants more money. And I think that's like a step in the right direction for the 49ers. Every year they make an offer and then a second offer that's way higher. They need to stop with that. And then you stop right now with Brock Purdy. So, look, the way I read the situation is that the Niners are going to make him an offer in the next few weeks. And I get the feeling that Brock's inclined to accept it if it's not humiliating. But the X factor here is the agent. The agent doesn't have a lot of big name clients. This is the agent's opportunity. So sort of put himself in the big leagues as a prime time premium agent who can get the big bucks for the best players. He's not that guy. If he gets Brock Purdy $60 million a year, all of a sudden players could look at him as, hey man, this guy's going to get me paid. He got Brock Purdy paid. He get me paid. But if he settles for $45 million a year, something like that, maybe players look at him as like, you're a lightweight. You're the one agent who couldn't get a better deal from the 49ers. You're the one agent who capitulated to the 49ers. So he's an X factor. And I think from the Niners perspective, it's like, okay, we like Brock and Brock seems like he likes us and we can work with him, but he has his agent who has his own agenda. And if the agent is driving a harder bargain, if the agent is saying, no, he needs to get $60 million a year, but Brock, how can we feel that Brock wants something different if that's the guy he employs? It makes you wonder about Brock, right? Like, okay, he seems reasonable. He doesn't seem greedy. It seems like he would probably accept something, but his agent has a different take on it, and he's going to defer to the agent. I mean, he's paying the agent. So I wonder if it's a little bit good cop, bad cop thing going on between Brock and his agent. Like Brock's, I'm just going to maintain my stance over here, how I've always been. I'm not into money. I'll take whatever, but I also have this agent who handles this for me, and he's very aggressive. So maybe this was John Lynch today sort of talking to the agent. Like, you're not getting over on me, pal, bud. You're not getting over on me. And if you try to go to battle with me over this and you don't just take the offer we eventually give you, you're going to get humiliated. So I kind of liked what John Lynch did today. I felt like he was throwing a shot. He was sending a message to not Purdy, but Purdy's agent. And what's interesting about it, he said in the back room that they're in the infancy stages of the negotiation, the infancy. So they haven't even given Brock an offer yet. They're just talking. So maybe the Niners are a little stronger this offseason than they've been in the past. We've talked about how weak their front office has been, and you look at the Rams, it's kind of cool how hard of a line they take with players. I mean, Matthew Stafford, get out. Thanks for the Super Bowl victory, but get out. You'd like to see the Niners have some of that strength, and they're not pushing Brock Purdy out. That would be stupid. He's literally under contract, and he's cheap. So why would you not want him? But they're not just rushing to overpay him the way they've overpaid a lot of players last few years. So that's the latest with Brock Purdy. I think that's good news. And again, from Lynch's perspective, why does Brock have this particular agent? I mean, maybe because he's loyal. Brock came in the league. He's a 7th round pick. He couldn't. I'm sure the top agents weren't interested in him. So he gets this guy. I don't even know his name. I could look it up. And then he becomes Brock freaking Purdy. And instead of firing the guy, he sticks with him. I would do the same thing, and I would expect no less from Brock. That's who he is. He's not going to big time some guy who believed in him when he was Mr. Irrelevant. I get that, but I wonder if now, 3 years later, entering this 4 years later, 3 years later, entering this negotiation, if the agent is the right man to do the job. Because I bet you there's a lot of agents that would love to represent Brock Purdy right about now, and guys who have track records of getting these things done.